Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're going to be jumping to another session of Epic 7. Now today, got some more RTA for you guys, and as we can see, we're going to do some backseat gaming. Now, looking at this, we have an Ravi avatar with the little cat ears. Actually looks kind of good, despite me not liking Ravi all that much. And on the right side, we got an A-Raz avatar as well. So, Octavian versus Octavian. Oh, that's a nice little matchup that we have. Right, both players representing the global server. And both players banning Bellion. Are we just seeing some sort of mirror match coming out here from these two players? Alright, Ravi getting picked out on the left, going for that profile picture. So you know when they pick their avatar that you're probably in for a rough time. But Octavian going for the specialty change ROL and going for Aiden as well. 2 3-star units against an ML5, but Aiden has been proving to be a pretty strong Ravi counter. We'll see how effective it is in this match here. Aola getting picked out along with DN. Very smart pick there because Aola typically is used to counter DN. So even though it's a level 50 Aola, I guess O'Million does not want Octavian to snatch that counter pick up. So on the right side we have C. Lilius, which is a pretty good pick into both DN and Aola. C. Lilius can potentially control Aola, prevent her from stripping and silencing on that first turn. Now the against DN, C. Lilius with enough effectiveness can provoke DN as well and prevent her from starting the match off with anti-crit and attack buff, or potentially pushing up the team with her S2. Spectre Tenebria coming out on the right side, a very safe pick because Bellion was pre-banned on both sides here. So that is a very strong damage dealer along with Aiden into the Ravi. So very solid drafting on the right. And on the left now we're seeing a potential Dilibet consideration, which would be strong into a C. Lilius, given that if DN were to be banned, then you have a second form of a cleanser. Luna getting snatched up though instead. Gonna see how she does here because Luna's also a single target damage dealer, and into Spectre Tenebria is probably not all that good. Landy is getting picked out though as the last pick to round off the DPS and giving O'Million an AoE option. So let's see what Octavian goes for as their last pick. You want to try to have a force ban as your last pick, right? Something that the opponent really has to consider banning. So that you can get the first 4 units comfortably through the draft. So Milim is getting snatched up here. Also a pretty decent choice into the Landy. It's telegraphing that they're not banning the Landy, and that is going to be the case. Aola is going to get banned out. Aiden also banned on the right side. So now we're going to see Spectre Tenebria probably be the sole DPS on the right side there. Of course, Milim exists as well, but I have a feeling that the Milim might get sniped down unless the C. Lilius can prevent DN from buffing. Right, so regardless though, Landy seems to be taking the next turn here. DN and all being level 50 probably doesn't have all that high of an effect res stat. So we're gonna see her provoked and pushed back. Ooh, but Landy gets a full burst to rip right off the bat. It's gonna push up the Luna, and that is actually gonna be quite huge because Luna could potentially snipe down that Milim on the right side. So DN gonna take the turn. And she was provoked, so now it's Luna's turn. She has an attack down, however, she does hit like a truck. The other thing is, Landy gave a speed buff to the rest of the team, so you see Ravi is going to be taking the follow-up turn here. So we're probably going to see Milim get sniped down. Ooh, not that much damage coming out from that Luna that attacked down, helping quite a bit. And of course the Vigor buff as well. Helping that Milim survive. Mages do tend to have higher defense stats than other units, so that is pretty good. A Ravi getting stunned by the Arowell here, and now we see Spectre Tenebria taking the turn. Milim has defense break, but it's not really going to matter. She has a huge barrier from the Arowell, and her S3 is going to grant her evasion, so she's going to be quite safe. Spectre sniping down that DN effortlessly with an S3, and now we're going to see Milim Soulburn going to hit that Luna, okay, with an S1, granting her an attack buff, and now she might rip the S3 into the Landy. Oh yeah, so we're going to see that S3 hit that Landy, Extinction being applied here. Very, very nice. Octavian looks like he has the upper hand here, but you can never count out a player with a Ravi on their team. A Ravi has not ripped an S3 yet, and Milim could potentially go down to a unlucky crit. Oh, but the Luna crit there didn't really do that much damage, thinking this might be a little bit of a gear gap here. Or the Milim could be very tanky, or the Luna could just lack the offensive stats. She is below half her health, so she does lose, I believe, some of her offensive capabilities. A miss coming out from A Ravi's S3. Ooh, that had to have connected in order for O'Million to have a chance, and he knows it as well, conceding the match to Octavian, who takes this round. Alright, so it looks like we have Terios 1 getting pit up against Nikki 1001, and this looks like it's going to be an interesting match. Oh, looks like I'm getting recognized here. We're just going to give them a little thumbs up, and kind of excited for this battle to begin. Alright, so let's see. We have an Arya avatar on the left and a Commander Pavel on the right. Two different tastes, two very nice tastes. And we're going to see Smash Time on the left, representing the guild, and kind of lazy on the right, you know, kind of feeling that too, gotta say. Both representing the global server, and both kind of ranked around the same. They're in silver right now. The new season had started a little while back. Okay, but we see A-Roz getting picked out on the left side, Diane and Aola getting picked out on the right. Similar reasoning to what I mentioned in the last match. Diane with Aola is a very common pick. You pick a debuffer and a buffer for your team, so you kind of cripple your opponents while propping yourself up, and also you prevent the opponent from picking Aola into your DN. ML Cowrick, though, coming out on the left side to counter that Aola, and also for his S2, which is a full buff strip on a single target unit, which could actually strip off DN's buffs, which is very powerful. Sid coming out on the left side for the potential speed imprint, I'm assuming. But on the right side, we see that Spectre Tenebria is getting picked up along with Fire Cowrick. Cowrick is a fantastic unit, actually. Being able to stealth, reset units, deal a bunch of damage, and self-buff. So a very self-sufficient unit, and a very powerful one indeed. On the left side, though, we see Alencia getting picked out, along with an Arya as a last pick. Now, Nikki going for that Fire Ravi as a last pick, telegraphing that the Arya is going to be banned because 2 fire units drafted into 2 earth units is going to put Nikki at an advantage here. Aola getting banned out on the right side. Not sure if I agree with that necessarily. Seeing that the Arya was going to be banned, the ML Cowrick would have been able to stand toe-to-toe with the Aola at the very least. But now we see Cowrick taking the first turn, and he's going to Soulburn reset the ML Cowrick, so now there's no chance of a cleanse, no attack buff, no immunity buff, or anything like that. We see Diane coming out with the buffs, putting the anti-crit buff and the attack buff up on the team. Oh, and it's now time for Sid to go. If he can land a crit, he can still do pretty good damage. So we're going to see here, oh, missed the crit, and just going to be chipping away at that DN. This Alencia, though, is in a pretty decent position to S3 and strip off a ton of these buffs if she hits the fire units. Looks like hits Cowrick out of stealth, strips the buffs off the Spectre Tenebria, DN with the resist, but that's kind of expected. And I believe the hit missed on the Fire Ravi. Now we see Spectre Tenebria going with an S3 into the A-Ra's, gonna be stunning him. Oh, but no, he resisted. Very, very nice. We see ML Cowrick now taking the turn. He can only S1, but the S1 still packs quite a punch because of the CR push, pushing Roz up there for him to take the next turn. Everyone already has a defense buff, you might want to consider using his S2, granting immunity to probably the Cid, but most importantly allowing him to dual attack here, try to finish somebody off. Cid unfortunately does not crit. He did hit the Cowrick though, which is quite nice. The anti-crit buff saving him there. Diane gonna go for some pushes, some barriers, and we're gonna see Cowrick rip an S3. Oh, and that's gonna be a lot of damage. Not finishing off the Cid though. So this seems to be pretty evenly matched. That defense buff coming in pretty nicely. Okay, we see the Alencia coming out. She is silenced, but it doesn't matter because she can still do a follow-up S1 into an S2. Gonna have the miss on the Cowrick. He's gonna be going and attacking yet again with a follow-up attack, hitting the Cowrick, bringing him down. None of these hits are critting here, and there's another miss coming out. That is quite unfortunate. Alright, let's see what's going to happen here. The ML Cowrick is going to tap the Cowrick and bring him really, really close to death, but Fire Cowrick is going to be taking the next turn afterwards, so we're going to see who he finishes off here. There are two targets, Roz, ooh, and he does finish the Roz off. Cid was the other target, but it seems like Nikki is not too afraid of that Cid at the moment, kind of just letting him stay alive. Alright, we see the Alencia though, finishing off the Fire Cowrick, and now going into the DN for a follow-up attack. Alright, come on Cid. Can we land a crit here? Ooh, hits the Ravi, pushes her up, and now, ooh, that's gonna be a dangerous situation though. Cowrick going for the S2 on the Ravi, getting a barrier for the full team, and putting attack down on the Ravi is pretty smart. Oh, that's a counter! It's a counter Alencia. Unfortunately, that Fire Ravi resisted that defense break from the Alencia. Otherwise, that would have been huge. Alencia could have done some pretty good damage if that defense break would have landed. But Cid is going to get finished off there by the Spectre Tenebria. We're going to see Alencia kind of poised to take out the DN. Yeah, there we go. Gonna go for the S1 and a follow-up S2. Unfortunately, that DN is quite bulky, and the Alencia seems to be lacking a little bit of damage there, and it's not gonna finish her off. Some injury is starting to stack on, though. Can Alencia do this? It looks very bleak, right? Especially with DN. If she can put up another anti-crit buff on that Fire Ravi, she is going to be looking pretty healthy. And that Fire Ravi has elemental advantage over the Alencia, so it's going to be tough for Alencia to break through. And that Spectre Tenebria too, hanging out in the background. Alencia only has one AoE skill on her S3. It's on a relatively high cooldown, so we'll see what happens here. Fire Ravi soul burning the S1, taking down the Alencia. Oh, I always forget how much damage is packed into that skill. Oh man, and there it goes. Terios is going to concede defeat to Nikki. Alright, so we have another match starting. We have 7 going up against Nikki. Okay, 7 is coming from the guild For Fun RX, representing global as well. We see a pre-ban Bellion coming on the left and a pre-ban Lilius on the right. We see Ron getting first picked. Ooh, it looks like this guy is going to be cleaving here. Or at least baiting the opponent into thinking that they're going to be cleaving. Aeola's going to come out on the right side, a pretty decent pick into Ron, I would say, because you get that skill nullifier up for your team, which helps against some follow-up attacks. Now, Politis, though, coming out is going to be quite tough to deal with. Politis, in an offensive build into Aeola, while Aeola's on a defensive build, the Politis usually comes out on top because not only does she cancel out the skill nullifiers, but she pushes herself up and is going to take the turn to deal a ton of damage. Diane out on the right side though with Ed is actually pretty nice. We see Astromancer Elena coming out on the left side here. So quite excited to see how she works. Now it's weird that she was picked because there's no units that will counter that's on the right side as of right now. Ed has a follow-up attack, it's an extra attack, not necessarily a counter. So he will still be able to proc. Ammo Kawazu coming out too. Ooh, that is a spicy pick. We see Green Cid coming out. on the left side, and we see a Summer Iceria as well. Okay. That's an interesting cleave there. Oh, Ed getting banned out for sure. BBK, though, defensively on the right side as an anti-cleave unit. Now, if it's a counter BBK, then Astromancer Elena is going to be able to do something in preventing those counters. However, nothing is really stopping the BBK from just absolutely demolishing the whole team. So hopefully she has enough effect resistance. Oh, and it looks like she might, because she's on Bastion of Hope, which grants her a ton of resistance. So we'll see how this works out. Now the Ron can strip if he soul burns here. Oh, and he is. So there goes the BBK's immortality. Oh, that is sad. That is very, very sad. We see Kawazu pushing up here, but the Politis is going to counterattack. Oh, and down goes the BBK. That is so unfortunate. The Politis had to have been banned there to help the ML Kawazu push himself up more in the combat readiness bar, and the Politis had to be banned there to prevent the Ron from having souls. The Summertime Iceria, you know, she has really high effectiveness, but there is a chance that BBK could have resisted. But that was a quick and easy match. Well played. Alright, it looks like the number of pre-bans have been changed to 2, and we're gonna see this Epic 7 player rocking a Asian guild, coming from an Asia server, going up against Nikki on the right side. Nikki is having their night today, going up, pretty much doing a King of the Hill style round, right? But let's see what comes out from these. Double pre-bans. We have Lua and DJB banned from the left. Seed Lilius and A Ravi banned on the right side. FCC getting first picked by the Epic 7 player from the Asia server. And we see on the right side, okay, sticking to some comfortable and familiar picks that we've seen. We have an Aola and a DN getting picked out. We see, in retaliation to the Aola, an ML Cowrick coming out on the left side. Very powerful unit into both DN and Aola for sure. Now we're going to see what the third pick is. Usually around here you want to see some form of a support DPS or one of your 2 DPS picks coming out, depending on how they're playing their standard team. Thinking very carefully here, and Senya getting picked out is actually quite good because DN doesn't really pack too much damage, and neither does Aola, so Senya is actually pretty decent in this situation. Now this does open up the Epic 7 player on the left to some potential burst damage from things like Rimuru. Also opens them up to fire units. Things like Fire Ravi are quite good into Senya. But we'll see what comes out on the right side here. Ooh, Ed is also not a bad pick here, because FCC, her S1 is 100% chance provoke, and that can trigger Ed. Senya, if she lands a hit on Ed, can also land provoke. ML Kaura cannot S2 the Ed as well, so that's pretty nice. And we also see a Landy coming on the right side. A little bit unusual to see Landy into a Senya, but it could work. It prevents counterattacks, right, with her S3, and there's plenty of buffs to go around on the left side, so Landy is quite reasonable here. Lionheart Sermia, though, coming out as the 4th pick. Ooh, go with the MO Ken, man. I know you want to do it. Use the MO Ken, even though he's really not good in this situation. But we see Archdemon getting picked out, which is very powerful, actually, into Nikki's team. If they can seal the Aola, then they can seal the Ed, then things are going to go south pretty quickly. Fire Ravi being snatched out on the last pick. Kind of weird into a Lionheart Sermia, though, unless it is not a counter Ravi. It could be interesting. Archdemon Shadow getting banned out along with the Aola. I think Aola had to be banned because if ML Cowrick was banned, there's no way they can shake off those debuffs on the left team. Right, but let's see what happens here. We have 2 knights, a warrior, and 2 warriors on the left. Going up against 2 warriors, a ranger and a soul weaver on the right side. Okay, oh, ML Cowrick going for the S2 onto Ed, just triggering the Ed. probably on purpose so that the Senya can buff and the Lionheart Sirmia can proc. I think he's pretty comfortable, right, with this Ed being here because the whole team is just so tanky. Now, Ed can let rip an S3, which he is going to do. Probably going to the Calric. Oh no, going into the Senya here. Alright. It did crit. Okay, so one option that Nikki has is to try to burst down the Senya before she can even take a turn. It can be possible too. So this Landy gets to go. She gets a full burst and she's going to push up her teammates here, granting everyone a speed buff as well. So this Ed might be able to cut in front of the Senya, but definitely going to be able to cut in front of Lionheart Sirmia at the very least. Miss of a crit there. Okay, Ed does not look like he'll be cutting the Senya here, and Fallen Cecilia going to go for the provoke on the Landy. Alright, not putting up a skill nullifier, doesn't deem it necessary as of right now. Probably just not wanting to hit that Fire Ravi. Okay. So we see Ed going for a hit on the Senya. Another crit landing. Ooh, that's kind of unfortunate. Okay, the DN is going to go and cleanse the team. Oh, and put a barrier up. That's going to be a much needed barrier because this Lionheart Sirmia is coming in with an S3. Let's see how much damage is going to get done here. Oh, and the crits through anti-crit takes down the Landy. And we're going to see that Lionheart Sirmia. Come on, who is she going to pick off as her next target there? Going for the Ravi, she's going to counter. This is going to trigger another Lionheart Sirmia proc. Oh yeah, it's far from over indeed. But this Ravi now gets to go. And can she rip the S3? Is she going to be able to stun everyone here? Let's see what happens. That's a lot of damage that's coming out. Ooh, Calric getting stunned and pushed all the way back in combat readiness. That is actually huge. Now, MO Calric can actually cleanse himself, though. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens here. Deanne is going to attack the FCC. Now, Ed gets to take another turn. Going for the Senya. Oh my gosh. Senya's anti-crit just did not exist. Getting crit over and over by this Ed. Oh my god. So, MO Calric is going to go ahead and cleanse the whole team attack buff on the Lionheart Sirmia, along with her defense buff here. She's going to let rip another S3, and this is going to be absolutely devastating for Nikki's team. Oh my god, taking down the DN and the Fire Ravian. Unfortunately, Lionheart has no debuffs in her kit, so this Ed is going to be going down for the count, with no way to counter. Well played to both players here. Well played. Alright, it looks like some players are being switched out. So we have Doraconia on the right side being put in from the global server, representing the guild Cherry Verna. However you pronounce that. Okay, so we have a Ruel avatar going up against the Aiden avatar, both light units, very respectable. Oh, but we see the pre-bands coming in, DJB and Lua band on the left, and Lua and Rimuru band on the right. Quite interesting. Neither player wants to face that Lua, and with DJB banned, Arwell is a pretty solid first pick. She starts the match with barriers, much like FCC, so having that DJB out of the picture means that she can be very comfortably picked without any risk of really quick burst damage coming out from DJB's barrier inversion. Now we see C. Lilius getting picked up on the right side is actually pretty good. If C. Lilius can strip the escort buff off the Arwell, much of her damage mitigation is now nullified, right? And she's usually carrying something like like an adamant shield to help support her team. So without the escort buff, then a lot of that damage sharing is going to be gone. On the right side, though, a Ravi getting picked out as a second pick. In retaliation, we have Aiden coming out with Amelia. Amelia's attack buff for the Aiden will actually be able to probably take down this A Ravi, even if it's on proof, if this is a YOLO build Aiden. But we do see Lionheart Sirmia getting picked out on the right side, and Celine as well. That's going to be quite interesting. The Celine to prevent the Amelia from pushing. However, Aiden has evasion built in, and if Celine attacks her and she evades, then she should be fine. Okay, hovering over MLK, actually, MLK getting picked out on the right side. Oh boy, this guy from the Asian server bringing the spice to the match. Let's see what MLK can do into this team here. Oh boy. How's MLK's matchup against Aravi? Actually, I don't know. Let's see though. Zahak is getting hovered over on the left, but nope. Quick switch over to Dien. Dien with MLK is actually a very weird combination because MLK needs to get crit in order to counter, and Dien puts anti-crit buff up on the team. Rowana coming out on the right side. Oh, if Aiden gets banned out, this is going to be quite an awkward match with MLK attempting to solo. And I don't know if he can do it against something like Aravi, Lionheart, and Celine. Oh no, but Dien is actually going to be the one that gets banned. That's okay. That was very unexpected. Rowana getting banned out is fair enough. We can see that MLK, if the Aiden was banned, the MLK would have been the sole damage dealer, and you'd want to mitigate as much healing as possible on the right side. So we see Amelia taking the first turn. However, considering what to do, I'm gonna just go for an S1 onto the Celine, who's on Moonlight Dreamblade actually, and not on her own artifact. So she wouldn't have been able to push a ton of combat readiness there, although she is pretty close to having 100%, so it wouldn't be needed regardless. See, Lilia's going to go ahead and debuff the whole team. No real risk of the Amelia cleansing everything, not with Celine here at least. Celine does have an attack buff though, and the MLK was debuffed by the C. Lilius. Huh. Not a resistance MLK, it seems. Alright, Celine gonna go for the MLK though. Oh! Can he actually finish off the MLK? Oh, but Sigurd's Scythe! Oh, but and the evasion, MLK was not able to heal that much, and we see here that that was deliberately planned. The Lionheart Sirmia is now going to be able to proc, and she's going to rip a fat S3 into that left side team, critting everybody. Oh my god, almost taking the R-roll down along with the MLK there. Aiden is going to counter, but is not really going to do too much, not with that attack down, and the bulk on the right side. Lionheart Sirmia going to finish off the ROL, and now Aravi, vigor buffed Aravi nonetheless, gets to take the turn, ripping an S3 here, gonna slam it into the Amelia, and that is gonna do it for the left side team. It's just Aiden, and she had already countered, so what is she gonna be able to do? I don't think she's going to be able to do much here. I don't think she can solo as much plot armor as she got in the story. It's not going to work out in this match. So we're going to see the Lionheart Sirmia take the next turn. A thumbs up coming out. Oh, but no, it's a miss, and there's a counterattack here. Not that it really matters though. That was just kind of a last stand, last resort effort to stay alive. And Celine's gonna bonk, and down Aiden goes. That was a nice, fast-paced match to end today's video with. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe for more Epic 7 content, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what I can do to improve. And until next time, take care.